one of our value propositions is that we can digitize buildings and do it accurately, right? And accurately often comes with like an asterisk. It really depends who you're talking to. So what we want to strive for is building a product that is construction grade ready, meaning if we 3D scan a building, any architect, any construction manager could use those 3D models and 2D floor plans and quite literally redesign on top of them for the purposes of getting a permit, submitting it to the city, or for the purposes of actually giving this to a contractor to build, right? So the bar that we hold ourselves is actually quite high, but that's us. Across the industry exists a variety of different cameras, and they all have a variety of different, I guess, LiDAR power, if you will. An iPhone today is quite powerful, but it's still not to a certain level of industrial grade preciseness that, more expensive LiDAR cameras have, right? So that exists today. Now, for maybe the kind of layman, they might just hear, oh, iPhone has LiDAR, and thus LiDAR is, LiDAR and it's the same. That's not the case. And so there's still a little bit of education that needs to exist for the consumer. Not all LiDAR is created equally. And so that's a part of this story. I do think that it will continue to get more commoditized and more precise so that, your next iPhone or Samsung might actually have the same level of preciseness that, say, what used to take a $10,000 or $20,000 camera now. But we're still in that kind of evolution of that technology. That's step one. So in many ways, we're kind of at the mercy. As a company, we are at the mercy of that evolution of LiDAR and it becoming even more precise. That crude data has to become, continue to be more refined, if you will. Now, what we've gotten really good at, right, is then converting that crude information, that 3D scan data, the point cloud, into kind of one-to-one replicas of that point cloud from that to the model. Now, that process is kind of an internal production and quality control process that we control. And so in that, we do have quite a bit of control from the way that we design our standards, our execution plans, the way we operationalize it, the way that we make sure that on quality control checks, that throughout that whole process, we're checking for, the location, placement, orientation, sizing of walls, windows, floors, doors, columns, pipes, etc. And so if you notice, from A to Z, there's components that we can control. There's components that we are dependent on the kind of hardware or what they call reality capture industry to solve for. But assuming that these two things evolve at the same time, there's an entire downstream industry that's depending on us to get the stuff right, from architects to engineers to contractors to building owners to governments to building product companies that need this information. So baby steps.